Cotton cola.
So originally, I was just going to do a spoiler-free review of this movie. I wasn't going to go into spoilers at all or make a separate video on that, and I'm still not. But the thing with Spider-Man Far From Home is that there is quite a bit of stuff that is spoilery and does set up really cool, hopefully really cool stuff for the future of the MCU. So here's what I'm going to do. First, I'm going to share spoiler-free thoughts. There will be no spoilers in the first section of this video. Then I'm going to rate the movie, give it a rating out of 10, and then I'm going to go into spoiler-filled thoughts. Don't worry, there will be below the word spoilers for the whole spoiler section of the video. So yeah, basically I really wasn't going to do this at first, but I decided that I really did want to talk about after seeing the movie, talk about the stuff that does happen in this movie. So, but first, let's get into my spoiler-free thoughts. Spider-Man Far From Home was good, but I will admit that a couple of elements were either annoying or underwhelming. I think that my biggest issue with the movie is the Ned and Betty subplot. I thought that that was awkward. Now I know that it was supposed to be intentionally awkward, but to me it wasn't awkward in a good way. Surprisingly, some of the jokes didn't work. Quite a few of them actually really didn't work for me. There were quite a few times where the movie wanted me to laugh, but I just didn't. I was surprised at how many jokes didn't work. There were definitely jokes that did work. I'll get into that in my spoiler thoughts, but there were some jokes that didn't work. The first 30 minutes of the movie were pretty slow, and I don't mind slow. In fact, in the Marvel movies, my favorite moments are the slower character building, dramatic moments. But I don't know, just the first 30 minutes of this movie were really boring to me, and it didn't really get exciting until Mysterio showed up. There was one twist in the movie that I did predict, and that is because with Spider-Man, I usually don't read comics. I'm not really a comic book reader. Not because I don't want to, but because I don't really have access to comics. But Spider-Man comics I have read. So there was one twist in this movie that I knew was going to happen. So but yeah, but overall, this movie, I did enjoy it. The performances, obviously, Tom Holland is great. Samuel L. Jackson, Jake Gyllenhaal, they're all great. Tom Holland has a really nice arc in this movie, and whenever he has to really, like break down emotionally, and whenever he has to really get into the performance, he does a really good job, and you really feel bad for Peter Parker in certain scenes. Jake Gyllenhaal was great. Samuel L. Jackson was great. Colby Smulders, I think that's how you pronounce her name, Maria Hill, and Aunt May, Marissa Tomei, they really didn't have much to do in this movie, and they weren't really amazing, deep characters to begin with, but I do wish that they had a bit more to do. The action sequences were pretty cool, a lot better than the ones in Homecoming. I think that overall, Spider-Man Homecoming is a better movie, but the action scenes in Far From Home were better crafted, a bit more exciting. The CGI in the first half of the movie was pretty bad, but the CGI in the second half was pretty good. And like I said before, the emotional moments, especially where Tom Holland really has to betray, grief or regret or whatever, were really emotionally effective in a good way. So overall, a pretty good film, and that's all I can say for spoiler-free thoughts. So I'm going to give my rating of the movie now, and then get into spoiler-filled thoughts. Out of 10, I would give this movie a 7. That might seem a bit low to some of you. I did enjoy it. I just didn't enjoy it as much as a lot of other people seem to be enjoying it. So yeah, that's it on spoiler-free thoughts. Now onto spoilers. I will be talking in depth about spoilers in this from this movie. So if you have not seen the movie yet, please stop watching now. You gone? Okay, good. So, Mysterio is a bad guy, if you've read the comics, you know that he's a bad guy. But but if you're not familiar with the comics, that's definitely will be surprising to people who aren't familiar with the comics, because in the first half of this movie he's presented as a good guy, and you actually do really start to care for him until that twist where he is a bad guy. Of course, he wasn't the weakest villain in the MCU, but he definitely wasn't one of the stronger ones. You know, Killmonger, Thanos are obviously more complicated and cool, I guess, for lack of a better for word. Not that Jake Gyllenhaal isn't cool, just the Mysterio character himself wasn't that, I don't know, cool or deep to me. I really liked all the scenes where he's, using the drones on Peter, causing Peter to go through all these crazy illusions and like seeing the zombie Iron Man, and yeah, that was all really cool. I think my favorite scene in this movie is the Spidey said scene where he basically, without actually seeing them, he takes out all the drones. He's on the bridge hallway and he takes out the drones. I thought that was really cool. Surprisingly, I really liked the Zendaya. Her performance. She didn't really have that much to do in Homecoming, but she definitely had more to do here. But I thought her performance was actually pretty good, and her character, I actually, unlike the Ned and Betty subplot, I actually really liked the romance between Peter and MJ. I thought that was really cool. The post credit scenes at the end. A lot of people are saying online that the mid credit scene is the one that you really have to watch, and yeah, you do. I think that if the mid credit scene where it's revealed that Jake Gyllenhaal created that deep fake to make Spider-Man look like a bad guy and revealed his identity to the world, I thought that if that was in the actual movie, I thought that would have been my favorite scene. But yeah, that was just really cool, and I'm really excited to see, how the world will react to hearing Spider-Man's real identity and assuming that Spider-Man's a bad guy and what will happen to Peter next. I'm really excited for that. I also really liked the post-credit scene where it was revealed that Nick Fury and Maria Hill all this time were actually the skull Skrulls. I can't talk. Yeah, I thought that was really cool. And then seeing Nick Fury, at first you think he's relaxing on the beach, but then he's actually in a spaceship with the other Skrulls preparing for something. I don't know exactly what that is. I think that the concept of the Skrulls being on Earth is really cool. Although I do wish that the Skrulls were bad guys. That was one of my main issues with Captain Marvel, is that the twist that the Skrulls were actually the good guys, and I do wish that they were the bad guys, because I mean that's such a cool concept for villains, just shapeshifters. I think that that's really cool. The sequence where Spider-Man accidentally sends a drone to kill that Asian guy that's flirting with Zendaya. I can't remember his name, but I thought that that whole sequence was pretty cool. I can't remember anything else off the top of my head right now, so I'm going to end it there. If I think of anything else, please let me know in the comments down below, and I will definitely respond to whatever plot point or whatever I forget here. So yeah, overall a good movie. I will admit I was slightly underwhelmed because with Spider-Man I'm always expecting greatness, and I'm a big MCU fan in general, and this was slightly underwhelming but still very enjoyable. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you have seen Spider-Man Far From Home, please let me know down below what you thought, and I really hope you enjoy it. Alright, thanks again for watching, and hope to see you soon. Bye.